What's up to all my creatives and freelancers? We have to talk about some serious business today, and that's when people confuse an invoice for a contract. So right off the bat, let's get serious and talk about this issue. And what I'm referring to is the times in which you as a creative may be working with a client, and maybe you have a rapport with them, maybe you have a relationship already, and it's time for you to work on a new project, but you simply give them an invoice. You invoice the client in order to let them know they need to pay for you to begin work, but perhaps you did not provide a full-blown contract for whatever reason. Maybe it's because the person has worked with you before, maybe it's because you trust them, maybe because it's a friend or family member. Who knows? But you give them an invoice and you don't follow it up with any type of contract or any other type of written agreement. I'm sad to say that I actually have done that in the past. I've worked with people to where I said, you know what? They know me pretty well. They know my business practices already. Let me just give them an invoice. I don't want to go through the hassle or put in the time to write everything out in a contract. Let me just give an invoice. The problem that arose from me giving an invoice with no written agreement led to many different assumptions that ended up being very stressful for me, and also it led to never-ending work. You know, I gave an invoice, they paid, and they had an expectation for me to do so many over-the-top things, and I had an expectation that, hey, I did the work and you already paid, so we're done. So it just was not clear, and it really just caused more stress and more work on both ends, when we really could have just had some things written down and just both parties agreed upon them. That brings me to this point. An invoice is not a contract. I'm gonna say it again. An invoice is not a contract. Even though the two are related, they're very different and distinct, and I'm gonna get into that right now. On one hand, you have a contract or a client agreement, and a contract is simply what both parties agree upon as it pertains to the details of the project. Normally, as a part of that contract, there may be a section in which you outline payment terms and what happens if the person does not pay. Or perhaps if there's a payment plan, you also outline the details of the payment plan, but you write out what was agreed upon for the client to pay. So you may say, I'm doing this work for a particular client. The agreement entails $1,000 plus tax, and they need to pay it. On this hand, you have an invoice, and an invoice is sending out notification that you are trying to collect on something that has been previously agreed upon. Think about it like this. A client agreement needs to outline what you need to be paid, and an invoice is outlining, this is the amount as a reminder. Now this is how you can pay me. Again, you have the details of the payment, and then you have, okay, this is how you can pay those specific details you already agreed upon. I have seen and observed with different agencies that, you know, they may put in a more comprehensive agreement and then they invoice for each particular project that comes up. That'll work as well, but the overall goal is to say or have some type of language which outlines, okay, this is the overall agreement, and any supplemental work that comes up, that will be scoped out differently. But every time I invoice you, you're still held accountable to the overarching client agreement. Thank you for taking the time to check out this episode. I greatly appreciate it. As always, there are show notes for this particular episode, so you can go to freelancejumpstart.tv/33, because this is episode 33. And you can get the show notes for this particular episode. Really, again, as a closing note, just remember, an invoice is not a contract. In the past, I didn't follow this, and that just led to, as I mentioned, some stress. So just take the time to detail out a contract and take the time to detail out an invoice in the right way, because it will save you a lot of work, a lot of headache, and a lot of stress in the future. Thank you once again for checking out this episode, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya.